What's going on, boys? It's your man back for another Marty McFly figure review. This is the second Marty McFly figure I own now, but I do believe this was actually one of the earliest ones they released. Not too sure, just guessing, but I have seen this guy at the stores for a very, very long time. So we'll bring the figure in quick, just for a quick look. This is the Tales from Space. I kind of call it the radiation suit Marty McFly. And I actually scored this figure on clearance at Target, I think it was. So if you are interested in any Neca Marty McFly figures or any Neca figures in general, because a couple were on clearance, head over to your local Target, because I scored this guy for $9. That's like a third of the retail price. That's crazy. So actually moving this man out of the way, we'll bring in the box to give it a quick showing. I actually really do like this box. I think the comic book kind of look, or the magazine look, is really cool. I really like it, and the colors look really nice too. Tales from Space. This man's going out like crazy. It has the same sides as the other Back to the Future 35-year anniversary, or whatever these are, whatever line this is. They have a lot of the same packaging on the sides and everything, and the same usual thing, normal on the top. And then, like all classic Neca boxes, the tab is broken, and it's got a sick pic of the figure with the window packaging. Now, moving on to the good stuff, and bringing the man Marty back in here. So, for the paint and sculpt on this guy, it actually looks really, really good. A lot of the paint is not bad at all, but from one thing, yeah, just going right to it quick, the radiation logo on this arm is all messed up, and it looks like either it got touched while it was wet or like it scuffed or something, I don't know. But other than that, the sculpt and paint is really good on this figure, and I really like it. I like the bright yellows and all the bright colors. Reminds me of Dying Light, the hazmat zombies. And I'm thinking, cutting the future real quick here, but I think this guy would actually work a lot more as like a background figure for other displays, and I guess for your Back to the Future display, because when you get the hood all together, he looks like basically just a regular radiation suit guy. You can't really even see his face, so you could use it in the background of any flick or anything, and the face even kind of is normal enough where you could have him like, oh my god, what's that? But I'll talk a little bit more about that coming in the future. But for some sculpting that I like over here, I really like the zipper in the midsection to top piece here, because this part is all hard plastic, and then it's the kind of squishy, and then this top piece is just an overlay, so it's nice and squishy. And I actually like the way it looks still exactly the same, even though it's two completely different plastics, and I think that's cool just to see. And I actually do not like the sculpting on this hand. It's a little bit too specific, and you can only get one use out of it. But that's not the worst, I guess. He does have normal shoes, actually, so if you were looking to use him as the background, make sure maybe, I don't know, if you don't mind him having regular shoes on, it wouldn't be bad, but it may break the illusion a little bit. So now putting him back down, and we'll talk about articulation on this guy. So articulation is a little bit lacking because of the big suit, but we'll get to it then. At the head, he looks up a little bit, looks down a decent amount with the neck. It's on a double ball joint, so you get your swivel and everything. The visor here is on a nice hinge, so you can just pull it down, plop it down. You can see it's a little warped, but even with mine being a little warped, it's not that bad. Everything still fits together fine. At the shoulders, it moves all the way around. Ooh, like usual Neca figures, they're a little tight, a little squeaky. Shoulder goes up pretty decently. There's the usual double jointed elbow, and then double swivel at the arm over here that Neca pretty much always uses for their Back to the Future line. At the wrist, there's a nice little swivel and a hinge. These hands, the paint feels completely different on them, so I'd be very careful. It seems like it's starting to maybe peel a little bit off the actual hinge, so just be careful when you're using the figure, because the orange will probably scuff very easily. At the waist here, I don't think he has any articulation at all because of the suit, but I don't think it really matters much. It doesn't inhibit much. Like, I'm not going to have this guy, maybe you would if, never mind. I don't think it's going to change that much. At the hips here, you can see the kind of bendable plastic. Kicks forward pretty decently with the big suit on. Kicks back, not too bad. just like with every NECA figure too, you got to worry about if you kick the leg forward for a long period of time, this will actually mold the shape of the leg and look pretty awful. I think that happened with a Jason pretty bad, so he's on the bottom shelf now. If you know, you know. He kicks out to the side, actually, amazingly for some reason. They did, I think this may be the first time they're doing the ball and hinge for a hip. If not, they might already be doing it and it's just not easily exposed like this. But the articulation works really, really good. And if you're coming down, there is just a normal, oh my god, super tight single jointed hinge at the knee that works pretty bad. It also, a little bit of a swivel too, if you're interested in that. Ooh, this one, the legs on this guy were very, very tight when I first got out of the box, and I had to warm them up. And even still, it's very, very tight, so just be very careful, because you don't want to break this man's legs. At the ankle here, that didn't sound too good. It goes forward just a little bit, comes down not too bad. There is actually a swivel at the sock at the top, like usual. And then there is a little bit of a pivot. Not too much, but just enough so that he can stand up easily. Like so. Surprised he actually stood there. I thought it was gonna fall over. So now going on to the articulation portion of it, I'll start. There's 3 different ways they included that you can put the hood on him, and there is another head too. So I'll just look at the other head quick. Move this man out of the way. I don't know if this is the exact same head sculpt that came with the guitar Marty, but it looks very, very similar, so it might just be. I'm not sure if the original Marty came with this exact same head sculpt either, because I don't have that one, but they all seem to come with kind of similar head sculpts, because even if they're different, these two are almost the same shocked expression, just he has the helmet on with this one. That's really the only difference. And now, to go onto the hood, the interesting accessories, the best part about it. So, normally, if you have this head on, you would turn him around. Ooh, just knocked the light over. Whoops. You would turn him around, have him standing, and then he comes with this accessory, which is the hood whole helmet combination thing off, and it has it so that it has a little thing right there, a little tab, and it slides right down the back of his collar, and then boom, it looks like he's not wearing the hood. He has it taken off, and it is heavy, so it might fall him over, but I think it looks really good. And you can, I guess you could combine them all. Like if you want him to have the hood on and then have no hood on, he could, but I don't think it really makes sense to do that. But like this, it looks really good. And even, I'm pretty sure this is where it's supposed to go, but you can slide it down the belt or something and just have him, I don't know, put it on his belt. Maybe he wore it like that. Whatever way it is, it works. Just gotta slide it down so that it can peg on like that and hold on. And it does look good, and it has the exact same pieces as the rest. So when we put the pieces together here, you can see it. So the next one I'm gonna go with is the hood up. Like if you just wore the hood, I feel like I'm kind of going through these backwards, but we'll do this one first, or this one next. So he comes with this hood piece right here that looks really nice. All the sculpting on these are really good, and all the colors match, so it's not like some Marvel Legends figures like Hulk. They always mess up the greens. That's not what happened with this, and it looks really good. But for this one, you can see there's a mold of the helmet there. You kind of hold this thing up. You just got to press it down on the back of the helmet. There's kind of a slot. It'll go in. Ooh, yep. And then once you line it up to your liking, you just pull the hood thing up here, this mask, and it'll lock it in place. And then you got that nice mask up with the cowl thing in the background. And there is another piece. The front covering has this little piece that clips right on the front of the mask here. You just gotta kind of slide it in, and then it looks like he's got it up. Oh, yo, I gotta look at this. That looks crazy. And he had to put the hood up for it. And I like, it seems like they almost did this so that they wouldn't be able to release variants of this figure, because sometimes I feel like they would have done, oh, you buy one Marty and it has the full hood and then the hood off or something, and then there'll be a variant where it could be the hood up. But I feel like they just did it all at once, which I kind of like. I think that's a good thing. It stops me from having to buy another Marty McFly. And I think it's something good that they did, because now you could literally buy 3 of these and have 3 almost different figures, because it would fit as like a hazmat team or something like that. So now moving on to the big mama part, the actual hood up. So what I like to do, we'll put this piece on first. Goes on the same way as the other one. It just kind of pegs onto the bottom of the mask. You can put it down and line it up nice. So this whole hood thing is kind of like you keep fidgeting with it and it'll look better and better. But then you take this piece, you take the overhead piece, you wrap it around the helmet, and you gotta just, got caught under there. You want to pull it above everything else, and then just push it down into place. It'll look real nice. It's not the most seamless, but when you really get it nice, it doesn't look too bad at all. It could pass as a real hazmat suit. There we go. It's a little crooked, but that's not too bad at all. It goes together pretty easy, and it does usually stay together. I had them sitting on the table for like a week, and it only recently started to slip off, which is not bad at all. I think it's made really nicely, and the way it fits together too is nice. It stays together, and it looks really good. This is the way I'll have them displayed, because I feel like it's just unique. I don't know. You never usually see a Nuketown hazmat zombie in the actual, in figure form. It's interesting, and I like the way it looks. All right. So, he still does have a couple more accessories. He has the same cassette tape headphone combination that the Guitar Marty came with, but I'm pretty sure it was new for this guy. Maybe. But it looks pretty good. It's the same quality. This one is a little bit less warped than the other one, so I guess that's good. And the paint is a little bit better. But this is the whole reason he has this hand, is so that the cassette tape part just slides in. And it looks cool. I kind of had it as like a radiation device or something. I don't know. I put the headphones like up in him, and it looks like he's got a radiation device. He's testing something. And I think you could either do it like that, or you could have him just jamming on the job. I don't know. And then for his last accessory, he comes with this hair dryer, which I really actually like. It even has a plug with the silver for the 2 bite things on it, which I think is just great. Nice attention to detail. And it keeps going with Neca. I feel like they always do accessories that are like, you could just use it for anything. Like, you don't need to use this hair dryer with the Marty McFly. You could put this with literally anybody, and it's just a hair dryer. It even has the plug, so if you, I don't know, set up a house or something, you could have it plugged in. And this one just goes in his other hand. He does have some pointing kind of trigger finger hand. If you just slide that through, it'll... Alright, it's a little stuck. Oh, there we go. It looks pretty good, and I kind of did the same thing. This maybe is a radiation gun. I put the wire going up in him, and I think that it adds even more kind of usability to him, because you could just pretend that it's like a radiation gun or something and not a blow dryer, or a radiation detector and not a cassette tape. And I think it adds a little bit more usability to the figure, and even playability if you want to, I don't know, go play with this guy. Go bring him outside in the dirt, oh, yo, I'm going through the dirt. That's a childhood moment right there, I don't know. So, now that he has some decent accessories, I think for the amount of, like, different, I guess, ways you could display him, 100% you could buy multiple of this guy and feel like you got multiple figures. Just like the Select Carnage, something like that. And I think I actually probably will be buying at least one more of this guy, because you need a pair of hazmat dudes. It's never just one. So moving on to comparisons, we'll start with a couple of other Back to the Future characters I have here, which is Marty McFly and Mr. Doc Brown. So the scaling is not too bad. It looks like the Marty's a little bit taller, and they're wearing the exact same shoes, so it doesn't make much sense. But you can just let it slide. Maybe he's alternate dimension or something. He's shrunk in the comic book. I'm not sure. I actually have not watched that movie in a long time. I don't know what scene this is from. But with the scaling with Doc Brown, it's not bad at all. I feel like the hazmat helmet, actually, I forgot to mention it, but if you unplug this mask piece from the helmet, you could put the hood on any character, which is pretty cool if you want to just throw it on like a I don't know who does anything like that. Someone with a hazmat suit, and it's cool because it fits, and it just looks really good. And I think he scales really good too. The scaling is not bad whatsoever. And now moving on to something I'm more excited about. Sorry, Back to the Future figures. But now the Jason's not much like that. It's just another NECA figure. But with Doctor Doom, I feel like this is how you'd be able to display, like, if you have a character busting out of a laboratory or something like that, breaking out of prison, and they have guards to try and defeat him or something. This is where I think it could go great. Like, moving these guys on to the real important part. The Venom and Carnage. I feel like this would work really well if you want to have, like, Venom or Carnage busting out of a lab or something, and then you got the hazmat team on them to try and secure them again. And I think this is why I'd buy a couple of them, because they look really good, and you could really just have the team getting tormented by the boys here. That's what I would do with them, just to be honest with you. I think this figure, though, it 100% has so much usability, because you could use it as a Back to the Future Marty, you could use it as a hazmat dude, and I think for the price on clearance, this is I 120% recommend, 122% recommend this figure. So if you guys have a local Target that doesn't suck, shout out to Brady working at Target. But if you have a local Target that doesn't suck and it has this guy on clearance, I'd 100% recommend picking them up. Even a couple of them, it is 100% worth it. So thank you guys so much for watching. The next review is going to be, the coast is clear. Check it out. Bow, all the ladies are gone. We got Cosmic Ghost Rider. This is going to be the next review coming up at some time soon. And I think I'm actually going to do my first comic review, and it's going to be on some Godzilla comic. So if you see it, I don't know, watch it. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.